Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're doing part three of the introduction. I've been asked what is a spirit or ghost as they call it. Um, what are they? What are they here for? Can they hurt me? What do they want? What are they capable of doing? To be honest, you've got so many different levels of spirit that I'm going to go through each one and discuss just a little bit with you. Um, to start off with, most people lump all paranormal experiences into the term ghost, although I like to think of ghosts as people who reside in another dimension, like our archangels, our family and friends, angels, spirit guides, etc. While this is fine, there are differences, and most paranormal investigators will split the paranormal into the following categories. So I'm going to talk to you about each angel, what their purpose is, um, and sort of give you a bit of feedback on, like, what sort of level of spirit that you want to connect with, and on what level of what you want to accept in at this precise moment. Now, straight away, I'm going to talk to you about archangels, which are the main angels that come through. They are spirits that are sent to protect you, to give you healing, to give you strength, and to give you guidance. They are centered energies around you and mostly seen as white lights by the naked eye. So what you'll usually get is seeing like flashes out the corner of your eye. You'll turn and there'll be nothing there. Once you become advanced with seeing the white lights and you actually accept them as spirit guides, and also accept them as angels coming through, archangels, you'll start actually seeing different coloured lights. So a lot of people may already be seeing these but discarding them as just normal, seeing something and then looking somewhere else and having that trace of basically an image that you've seen. Well, actually they're not. What your guess is over time, once you start trusting in the sparkles of light, you'll start seeing different colours of light. You may see them as flashes, you may see them as balls, you may see them as orbs. Normally you'll see them with the physical eye. For me, I'm quite advanced now, so I see quite a lot. Normally I see orbs within about sort of this size. They range from every colour spectrum of the rainbow. So you'll have pink, green, purple, red. Um, Recently, though, because I'm quite advanced, I basically was helping a lady out with her business. I kept seeing purple every time I drove to her shop. I would see purple all down the side of the road, which was really weird because it was all meant to be green. I basically came back, did some research into the colour purple to find that purple was the colour for stored information. It made no sense to me at the time. It wasn't until the actual purpose of me being there came to light. I'd actually helped the woman to re-establish her business from start. I redesigned it, relaunched it, got the business up and running. The business was doing terrible before I got there, through to personal circumstances. And it actually came out that it was a deceased husband that had actually sent me there as a guide to help her on her journey and also help her to re-establish herself. When getting talking to the woman, it came very apparent that without her husband she was very lost. Without the shop she was going to be even more lost. And that whilst he was around in her life, he'd actually been the one that had done all the ordering for the shop and basically maintained everything, and all she did was run the shop. Me being sent there, when it came to stored information, I'd actually had 4 businesses that had been very successful, and although unfortunately I did lose the businesses through to a few idiots in my life, and circumstances that they brought upon me. At the same time, I was able to put my skills from what I'd learned from my own businesses, and also having done a Princess Course Trust on self-employment and business for a loan that I got refused, unfortunately. But all these experience I was able to put into her business and re-establish her. Um, as I said, once the business had been done, we relaunched it, we managed to get the shop redesigned, it was all refitted. It then made perfect sense to me that this stored information was, I needed to take something from my past to be able to put it into the present, to be able to help someone else. Now, archangels normally will give you, quite strong colours, and they'll give you different colours to represent what's going on in your life. So if you have green, that means you need some healing. It means that you need to take some you time, or there's some situation in your life that needs healing. If it's the colour blue, this can be on 2 scales. So you've got tranquility, but you've also got a situation you may need to be putting a little bit of fight into. Archangel Michael is blue. Obviously, you know of Archangel Michael, he fought Lucifer, so this is where it says that, like, you need to fight something to bring tranquility into your life. I will go through the colours with you at some point later date on what the colours of the archangels are and what they represent. But at the minute, I'm just talking about the actual angels, as in like their own personal gifts and what they're here for. We also have friend and family angels. These are spirits that have stayed around to either be your spirit guide, or simply a spirit that wants to let you know that they're okay. They often like to play tricks, like friends and family members would have done whilst on the plane, in body form, letting you know they are back to their normal selves. Now, normally with this, you can get certain traits. So if you've got a lady that wears a perfume, she may have worn it all the time, or it may be a favourite perfume. For the first couple of days, you may smell this perfume. If you've got someone that's passed that had a favourite song, you may hear the song over and over and over and over again. They may start moving objects, playing little tricks, doing things that they would have normally done when they're this side. To be fair, like a lot of friends and family angels, their first priority is always to let you know that they've passed over okay, which is going back to where we mentioned about the butterflies and the feathers. Normally, if someone passes away, you'll normally see something that either represents them or something that they've given to you that would represent them from that moment onwards. So it might be a white feather, it might be a robin. You'll know your message, your sign, when it's given to you. For me, I mean, I've got a few people that are represented as stars. So, like recently, a friend of mine passed away. I kept hearing the same song about this star. It, to me, said that he had become a star, like, he was watching me from the sky. Some that give me feathers, I automatically assume as them of, like, they've got their wings or they've become birds. Obviously, I don't want to go into that deeper at the moment. We'll look at that at some later date. But yeah, they'll normally come to you and give you some sort of message that means something to you, that you can 100% state that it was them. We've also got our spirit guides. These are assigned spirits who have passed to the spirit world and then sent back with a purpose. They're assigned to you personally. They are called upon when you are in the desperate need of earth help. Spirit guides normally, that's normally when you'll get your highest of messages with the feathers, the coins, things like that. If you've got something that's, really, really needing to be dealt with, and you sometimes you've don't sort of subconsciously realize it, but you're saying like, oh, please give me a sign, or please help me, or are you there? I want to know you're still there. When it comes to a personal situation, if this personal situation is quite strong, it's very important sometimes for people to have their loved ones around them, to give them clarification so they know they're not alone and not dealing with this on their own. Normally, when you see your spirit guides, as I said, they don't want to scare you, so they'll normally give you subtle messages. But yeah, keep an eye out for what it is that your spirit guides are sending you. Like if it's a time of need, normally you'll see like the archangels around a lot as well. So you'll see, like, not just the sparkles of light, but you'll see the colours of light as well. And it's worth having a look, reading up on what the colours represent and what it is that that you're being told from your spirit guide to help you in that situation. If you're getting this, though, it means that you really need to listen to what your spirit guide's sending you, because the fact that this is a time of need and they're telling you that we've been sent deliberately to help you with the situation, and you need to listen. You've got the word ghost. This is used quite often. And I also like to call it spirit, but we've also, like, when it comes to ghost and spirit, they both come on a total different level. So you've got spirit. A spirit is the soul or a person or animal which is remained in this world after the death of the body. So it means that the spirit hasn't passed over for some reason. There are many reasons why. There's unfinished business. We'll go into that in a moment. Sometimes they just stay around because of the fact that they just don't want to pass over. Sometimes they may not pass over because the fact of their faith. They may not have been able to pass over because the fact of being stuck in limbo because they didn't want to go. Maybe they were taken too fast. There's many reasons why spirits stay around, but to me, all angels of all, all of what I'm talking about, to me, all are represented from me as spirit. I personally don't think that there is another plane, like, many planes. I think that there's one plane that we go to. I'll talk to you about that on a later date, though. When it comes to ghost is an apparition of someone you don't know, someone who may be connected to the building you are in or the objects in the property. Now this, basically, if you buy second-hand furniture, if someone's had an item and they've loved it and then they've passed away, their essence might be still connected to that item. I have noticed when I've bought items into the house that there may be all of a sudden an unsettlement in the atmosphere around me, or an unsettlement with the animals, or an unsettlement just in the natural feeling of my own well-being. If this is the case, then normally I'll cleanse the item, or I'll explain to the spirit that, unfortunately, I've now got the item, but I also explain to the person, the spirit attached to them, that, I want to cherish this item as much as you did, otherwise I wouldn't have it. And I normally find that this brings a lot of peace and comfort to any spirits. A couple of days ago, I bought some porcelain dolls to bring into the house to upcycle. During this, I picked up on one of the dolls of actually having a spirit attached to it. And it really wasn't happy with the fact that I was cutting its hair and I was painting its face completely different. But I just explained to the spirit attached to it, well, you could become an object for someone else to love, and I would like to love you, and I would like to give you the attention to make you look nice again, and you to go back to another child or another family. Once I said this, I actually found that everything went swimmingly well. The spirit seemed to accept that, my purpose of what I was doing wasn't to hinder the doll or to cause any negativity to the doll. It was basically so that I could revamp it and give it out so that someone else could love it and cherish it, and it not end up in landfill and just end up as another wasted rubbish object. Ironically, when I went through last night to have a look at a couple of the dolls that I've done, because they've been painted in the Mexican style of the Day of the Dead, is remembering positive spirits. I actually found out that the days that I painted them actually fell on the days that the ceremony also would have taken place in Mexico. So, things like that, worth writing down, worth recalling, and that. When spirits come with things, psychometry is a trick of being able to read objects that have been worn by past loved ones, and their emotions, their soul, their spirit is all attached to this item. I don't prefer the terms ghost at all. I actually prefer the word spirit or angels, but everyone to their own, and it is a term that's given, so I've explained that. We've also got poltergeist. This is paranormal activity created around one individual, usually individual, usually a child approaching the age of puberty, but can centre on adults who are going through a great deal of stress, seen as unexplained activity. Now, what you'll get is um, I mean, I don't personally like the word poltergeist. To me, it's something out of a film. Um, I've not personally had anything happen to me on the sense of a poltergeist um, like experience where it comes to things being thrown around and that. But I have had physical sensations where I have felt that I may have been, you know. Approached then by a spirit that I haven't wanted near me, and I have felt that there has been occasions where they have touched me, violated me. It's difficult to go into, it's difficult to explain. Is this poltergeist? I don't know. For me, I see spirit as I do like people on the waking earth. Basically, you go out, you've got those that are murderers, you've got those that are rapists, you've got those that are lovely, you've got those that are vicars, you've got those that are school teachers, you've got those that are just lost in life. For me, when I speak to spirit, that's the same what I get from them. I get no different attitude from the spirit realm than I would on this realm. If someone wanted to take advantage of you on this realm, they'd quite easily do it, and if they wanted to that side, they can quite easily do it. It's how you protect yourself, how you ground yourself, and how you keep yourself protected on whether or not you can allow things like poltergeists and that in. Personally, myself, I do feel that, like, hospitals that have had mental institutes, things like that, prisons and that, you are more likely to get more poltergeist activity. Is it poltergeist, or is it just like, a human being that's passed over to spirit that was a bit of a prick in this world, and they're going to be a bit of a prick in that world? For me personally, I just think that spirit are just how we are in this world, but just in a different dimension. Archangels, totally different level altogether. So, we've got different levels of how angels come through, and how archangels and spirit guides and poltergeists, can present themselves. As I said, I like to look at it as in just treating people in the spirit world as if they were just physical bodies in this world. Oh, really? Entities, the paranormal activity.